love you, Mom.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Aika. Happy birthday to you.
My brother and my sister sang and cheered, fake smiles plastered onto their sickening faces. I just wanted to gag when I looked at them. I guess I'll introduce myself to you. My name is Aika. I just turned 10 years old, and I live here with my brother and my sister. You might be wondering where my parents are. My mommy went away a long time ago and never came back. I never met my daddy. As you can see, right now it's my birthday. I am blowing up candles right now. I take a deep breath and blow as hard as I can. When the warm, bright lights flickering at the tip of the candle goes out, my brother cuts the cake and my sister gets presents ready. We have a good time. We talk a lot, but they just ignore me. So it's not really me, but just them. I take the last bite of my cake and stand for my seat. They didn't notice at all, so I take the single present they brought for me and go upstairs with it. My room is nice. It's very small, colorful, and full of toys and pictures I drew of my dog Haru, my brother and my sister, and my mommy. Kneeling down, I unwrap my gift and throw the wrappers to the side. I lift the small cover on the box and pull out a doll dressed in white and red. The clothes look similar to mine. In fact, the doll looks just like me. I get a big smile on my face. A real, true smile. The kind of look I'd give in extreme happiness. I haven't been this happy since Mommy was here. I hung onto the doll and headed to bed with it. Falling back onto my mattress, changed into my pajamas, I cuddle the doll and fall asleep. But later that night, I was woken by giggling? Wait, that wasn't giggling. It was sobbing? I sat up, noticed my doll was gone. I crawled out of bed and looked around. There was no doll to be found. I followed the sobbing and found the doll outside by the peach trees. I sat next to it, frowning. What's wrong? Is that you crying? The doll stared up at me, its expression blank, but its cotton skin soaking wet. Mommy is dead. I stared at it. What do you mean? Mommy isn't dead. Yes, she is. The villagers did it. Every one of them, along with their siblings. They took Mommy, tied her up, and fed her to the dogs. They did it! I stared in disbelief, not a word spilling from between my lips. The doll spoke again, whispering gently. I slept. Now they're coming for you. Your next Aika. Only way to keep it from happening is to kill their dogs. Every one of them. Then you won't be alive. I nodded slowly. My face simply expressionless. Guess what? That night, I killed every little dog. Even little Haru. I didn't feel a thing. It was so pretty. Now every flower is red.
Hey guys, Char5 here. For those of you who may be a bit confused as to exactly what this creepypasta is about, it's about Animal Crossing New Leaf for the Nintendo 3DS. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but eventually in the game you gain access to a device known as a Dream Suite, which, when inputting a certain code, gives you the ability to visit other towns that people around the world have created. Now, here's the alleged tale of Aika Village. It was created by a Japanese person. It's known as Aika Village, though most people call it the Horror Village, as this is what Aika means. Aika means horror, lament, elegy. So, here we go. When you start off, there's a present right next to the bed. You come in. When you open the present, there'll be a doll. As you go through, you'll notice that this doll is reoccurring. As you move into the village, you'll notice that the ground is covered in pink and red roses, while the trees all contain perfect peaches. As you enter the first house, you'll notice that it looks normal. You'll notice that a birthday party is going on. There are 3 mannequins representing 3 people. On the table is a tea set, a birthday cake, and presents, which presumably holds the doll we received when we entered Aika Village. The bathroom is blocked by a dresser, perhaps symbolizing that someone was not allowed in. Going upstairs, we notice that it looks like a girl's room. There's a doll, maybe representing the girl, as well as some paintings. One of her mother, one of her family, and one of her dog. A happy song is playing, a toy is spinning, and overall it just looks happy. Outside of the house, we can talk to a girl, which is commonly referred to as Aika, and she says, "I love my mom." Clearly, Aika loves her mom more than her father for some reason. Leaving the house, we continue along the path. Here's where the roses change colors. They're now lavender. Lavender roses, I believe, are often associated with sadness, so this is our first hint that Aika's life is taking a turn for the worst. However, we also see red roses still, which may symbolize Aika's love for her family. Continuing along, we hit a maze. The maze is filled with candy, balloons, toys, pitfalls, money, and one single wetsuit. Getting through the maze, we come into the second house. If we talk to Aika outside, or inside, she once again says, "I love my mom." Only there's something weird about it. Her speech mixes hiragana and katakana, two different Japanese alphabets. In Japanese, you don't do that. That's what makes it weird. Essentially in English, it would say something like, "I love my mom," capitalized combined with lowercase. This is often associated with insanity when writing online. I mean, well, I do it, so never mind. So, this is our second hint that Aika's falling into insanity. Going into the house, we instantly notice that the first floor is covered in runaway signs and chairs. Going upstairs is the scene of Adam and Eve. In front of the Eve statue is an apple, and next to the apple is a snake. The original sin. Going downstairs, we notice that it looks like a party. There are 4 tables connected to make one, with 3 rows of 4 dolls sitting all around them and various foods on the table. The 12 dolls most likely symbolize the Last Supper, yet another biblical reference. As we go around the table, we will notice that the red doll, which many seem to believe is representing Aika, is hiding an axe behind her back. Going upstairs and making it through the chair maze, we come back to a room that has a bunch of toys. However, they're all facing the wall in front of us. Turning the camera, we notice that there are paintings of 2 sets of eyes on the wall. Leaving the house, we'll find a graveyard filled with dog houses. It's a dog graveyard. Moving past the graveyard, we come to the third house. In the third house, we instantly notice a maze of bookcases. Before we go on, let's talk to Aika again. This time, Aika makes us 3 alphabets: hiragana, katakana, and romaji, which is English. What she's trying to say is, "I love my mom," but you'll notice that at the end, all the characters are the same. What she's trying to say is daisuki, which means I love you, but it's just osakan dai 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 dai. Because the creator used some romaji letters, perhaps we can interpret that this is Aika really saying mother die 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 die, meaning her mother is dead at this point in the story. Of course, that could be totally wrong, it's probably just hard for her to say it anymore. As you step into the house, you'll hear a creaking noise. As you walk further into the house, you'll hear a high-pitched noise begin to get higher and higher. When you walk into the house, you will instantly notice a doll with an axe. Going into the back room, you'll notice the ground is littered with stationery. There are 2 glass cases, one with a 4-leaf clover and one with a book. Now go press A on the book. It would appear to be a diary of some sort, but belonging to who? Aika? Going to this room on the right, we find a piano with a bunch of eggs in front of this. This room confuses a lot of people. Does it symbolize birth? Something not born yet? Going downstairs, we notice a room with letters and a telescope. The bed has a human outline on it. The doll is sitting in the corner on her own. Could the doll or Aika? Going upstairs now, we notice it's a bedroom. However, all the furniture has the mother's picture on it. As we leave the house, note that it's a rundown. From here, if we head to the beach, run along the water and you will soon find a pair of shoes. This is important. In Japan, people who commit suicide will often take their shoes off first. Since the position is close to the third house, this leads me to believe that Aika's mother committed suicide, leaving Aika on her own. Losing her mother deepens her descent to insanity, most likely. From here, go onto the waterfall. Remember that wetsuit we saw earlier? Put it on and swim over to the little beach. You'll notice a grave and something buried about it. Dig up that item. As we go along past the third house, we'll notice that the village is wrecked. The trees are burnt down, there's weeds everywhere, the bamboo is dead, and there are rotted turnips everywhere. As we go to the third house, we'll notice it looks exactly like the first one. Let's talk to Aika again. This time it's all gibberish, maybe symbolizing that Aika has gone insane. Going in, the room is exactly like the first house, except it's trashed. Trash litters the floor, the cupboards are open, clothing's everywhere, and the room is pitch black. We go upstairs and it's identical to the first house as well, except the lights are off and the toy isn't playing anymore. The paintings are scratched out. Her mother's painting is scratched out. She's scratched out of the family painting, and the painting of her dog is scratched out. Going into the back room, we notice a mannequin dressed as Aika and a doll barricaded and the statues watching them. What does it all mean? Well, here's a theory. Basically, this town tells a story of a young girl who once had the perfect life. Soon enough, her father abandons his family and his mother commits suicide. Through it all, Aika takes up self-harm and starts killing her pets, possibly later killing the other villagers. In the end, Aika's all alone and has gone insane. But again, this is just an interpretation of Aika Village. I do think that there are things that could fit differently, but what do you think?